Hey everyone, welcome to In Studio, and we've got Matt Walsh here with us today. How's it going?
Great.
Yeah?
Lovely. Yeah.
Veep, it's back.
Final season. So sad.
Is it bittersweet?
It is bittersweet. Yeah, it's nice to be able to say goodbye on your own terms and get out before the show stopped working.
Yeah.
So you want to go out on top. But it's sad because it's been like a family for the last 7 seasons. It's been really sweet.
Why was now the best time to say goodbye?
Well, the show's still working and it's still successful. I think the current administration is rather challenging to satirize because it's more absurd than oftentimes in our writers' room they pitch ideas and they were like, no, that's crazy, that would never happen. And then lo and behold, in the Trump administration, it would happen. So I think it was challenging in this current administration to sort of satirize it or get ahead of it. And that intangible vibe of like, you know, I think Julia and Dave were like, I think we've done everything we wanted to do, so why don't we come home?
There was a surprise to see you come back because at the end of last season, we didn't know you were going to come back.
Well,
Your
Mike,
character.
but I remember after like season 5, my mom called me and asked me if I was off the show, because they had an interview with Wayne to maybe take Mike's job, and then at the end of 6, you know that Leon has been elevated to the Selena's inner circle, and then Mike's gone, but. Of course, Mike will find a way to come back. Like, Mike is resilient, if anything.
See, we thought you were like a teacher, but now we see you coming back as a journalist.
That's right. Mike is on the other side of the ropes, and he's trying to use his access to get some good interviews for Selena's team because he has friends there. So I think that's why he got the job.
Okay.
They said, why don't you use some of those relationships? We'll hire you. But again, he's in the new media, like BuzzFeed and places like that. He has no idea what he's doing.
Okay.
Completely
well,
out of his
that's
element.
not too far from.
No, I think every season we see Mike out of his element. And somehow he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does Sara Sanders compare to Mike as a press secretary?
I think Mike's better. I find Sara to be less charming than Mike. And I also find Mike is a worse liar, which I think is better for the country.
There you go. From the outside looking in, it seemed like Julia had all your support, the whole cast support in coming back. What was it like to see her return to set and getting back in the full swing of things after
her health crisis?
Yeah.
It was very scary. She had she had cancer, and so she had to go through all of that, and she had a wonderful team around her, her family and friends, and we supported her as well. So when she started coming back, I think it was lovely to just sort of have something normal to do together and almost not talk about it in a way. Like we did talk about it a little bit, but I'm sure she was tired of talking about it. So it was just great to see her be okay and see her get back into it. And I'm assuming she probably appreciated having the show to go back to because she loves comedy and she loves working on comedy, and so to have that sort of take her mind off of the things she had to go through, I'm sure was a blessing for her.
The cast and crew has been together for so long.
Yeah.
And you guys have already done filming. Tell me about the last day on set.
The last day on set, the things I remember drinking too much tequila in the writer's room with Clea. Clea doesn't drink, but she was there, and Dave and Julia and Brad, her husband, and Tim Simons and all the writers, and it was this string of tearful farewells, like dinners and parties and cast wraps and gifts, and so there was a lot of tears, but I personally tried to be connected to it and not just joke about it, but really express how valuable and grateful I am to have worked with everyone and what they meant to me, and we all did, quite frankly, and so it was sweet, and there were some tears, and when I got wrapped, personally, I was one of the first regular characters to get wrapped my final day, and so I played a dumb instrumental version of all the single ladies and made everyone dance so I wouldn't cry. I just made something silly happen. So.
Oh, that's very sweet.
It was good.
That's
worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Now, Veep is not your only project.
It isn't.
No, you were also recently in Under the Eiffel Tower, a great, unique rom-com.
Yes.
And I will tell you, after drinking that, all I wanted to do was drink wine.
That's good. You're our demo.
Yes.
It's aspirational. You got to go to France. You got to drink some wine. No, it's beautiful. We shot in Paris for 10 days. and Bordeaux for 3 weeks, and I got to bring my family and my wife, and it was heavenly, and it was fun to dive into a genre and really unpack it and figure out how to do your own take on it, because we got to write and improvise a little like I like to do in anything I approach. And so, and I also dragged in all my friends, Reed Scott, David Wayne, Michaela Watkins, Gary Cole. I said, come on to France. We're going to make an indie comedy or rom-com.
It was probably a really hard sell. Come to France.
I know, that's the beauty of it. It was, and it was lovely. Like, there was one night, Gary Cole and I and my wife and Gary's girlfriend were just sitting outside, and we saw like a shooting star, like storybook. It was just gorgeous, just gorgeous come down. Yeah. So it was lovely, and it was really fun. I helped produce it, so it was like start to finish. It was a great, tireless, a lot of work, but great.
Were you nervous to get into doing a rom-com? Because that's kind of that's a genre that's kind of dying off right now.
I was, but it was fun to unpack it. Like, I was with one of the people on the team, Danielle, who was our executive. You know, she was giving me like all these Nora Ephron movies to watch, because I don't necessarily go to watch a romantic comedy when I have a night to see a movie.
Shocker.
Yeah. But so it was neat to do a deep dive on a genre and like to know that like an argument has to happen out of some miscommunication. That always happens. Yeah. And you always have to come back to get the girl, or she can come get him, but somebody's got to come back. And then you have to profess your love and know in that moment that you're not guaranteed it's going to come back at you, but you're willing to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So like there's all these things that, and you're like, oh yeah. And then some of those things I improvise, like that moment where I'm on the train and I try to get her to come back. Most of that dialogue was just whole cloth doing multiple takes of like, what would you say in this moment? Like we had tent poles, so it was fun to like, you know, see this. And then you also have to see something in the woman that no one ever has seen before.
Yes.
You have to make her feel like, oh, you get me.
Yeah.
And same with her. She's got to see me
right.
for like an authentic thing that I don't necessarily get perceived as.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why and then the audience is like, they are right for each other.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It was actually fun.
I was a little mad at Reed Scott's character in the beginning, because I was like, hey, you're not supposed to be the star here.
Well, she's a liberated woman. She
true.
She sees something, she takes it.
I mean,
that's like, that's the other thing, is like you try to put a little spin on it. Like you don't always see the woman going after a couple dudes in the movie, necessarily.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Or bringing home a couple dudes.
Now I'm curious about your research. You know, tell me about some of the rom-coms you watched. What were some of your favorites?
Oh, just all the great Nora Ephron, some of the old, like, You've Got Mail, or the bookshop around the shop around the corner, which is the older version. You know, boy, you're putting me on the spot here. I would say I watched like 10 or 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, over the course of like 2 months. Yeah. And then a lot of them at night we would film, and then I would go home and my wife and I would pick up, you know, a Netflix rom-com and just kind of watch it and see how they executed that moment and just kind of feel it. Yeah.
The only thing that was going through my mind is I think the only thing you missed, but then I realized that you did it on your own, is there's always some sort of like shopping montage or makeover montage in all the typical rom-coms.
Right.
But then I remembered
the cooking.
Yeah.
Isn't the cooking?
Towards the end of the film, too, there's another montage.
Where's the other? Oh, yeah, when he's back stateside? Mm-hmm. Well, that's more to set he isn't happy. That montage is more to set like, oh, he's incomplete and she's incomplete. It's not just him.
It's true.
You need to show both characters like, oh, they're not living as happily as they were when they were together. So that montage stateside is to sort of reinforce that feeling.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But the montage in the middle of the film, the makeover, if you will, is like him cooking.
There you go.
I think that's the closest thing you're going to get to a makeover. And then painting together, I think, is in a way, is him...
Common interest, sharing, they discovered.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of rom-coms, so...
Yeah.
Did
you enjoy it?
Formula. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yes,
yeah, thank you.
It is really funny.
Yeah.
It is really funny. Now, your character in Under the Eiffel Tower was fired. Veep, you were fired. Have you ever been fired?
The one job I remember being fired from, I was counting tractor parts in Aurora, Illinois for a summer job. And it was like gears and things like that. And the supervisor came by and he's like, how many rubber gears are in here? It was for tractors. I'm like, I don't even know what they did. And I'm like, I counted, but I lost track. I'm like, I think like 120. He's like, you think?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, he's like, count it again. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So I counted again. And then again, I lost count because it's like so hard to keep focused. And he's like, "What's the number?" I'm like, "I think it's 116." He's like, "You think you're fired?" Like,
Oh my God.
just instantly cut. But I'm glad because I don't want that job.
Yeah.
But that was the one job. And the other job, I was a dishwasher, and they just stopped putting me on the schedule. And I was only like 16. So for a couple weeks after, I would show up, and I'm like, "Huh, not on the schedule." And I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right, I'll come back next week."
Oh,
And
man.
the sweet lady who fired me never told me I was fired. She just took me off the schedule, and I would see her. I'm like, she's like, "Yeah, we don't need you this week either." I'm like, and then I'm walking home like, "Oh, I'm fired." Like.
Oh, so you got it. There was no like. Yeah. Okay. So you never.
But I
went
was
back.
like, yeah. But she was so nice to me, that
Yeah.
my boss, that I thought there's something. Well, they just didn't need me this week. But
You've just had such an amazing career from your improv background, an Emmy-nominated actor. Which of your roles would you say were kind of the most pivotal for your career?
pivotal. Well, I think Veep currently is one of the most remarkable roles I've been lucky enough to step into because the writing is excellent, the collaboration we're allowed is, you never get that in any show. And I think the caliber of talent that we're, obviously Julia, but everybody is so good that the show quality is excellent. And then on top of that, it's that intangible of like, I've been fortunate enough to make funny shows, but nobody watches them. So on top of that, it's a show that people actually care about and want to talk about with their spouse the next day. So that's like having all those ingredients very rarely happens in an actor's career. So I would say Veep right now is one of the greatest roles I could have ever dreamed of.
Is there anything that you want to tackle next? Any type of role?
I'm ready to do some action movies.
Okay.
If
Next
anybody's
Marvel
writing
movie,
one,
maybe?
I'd love to do a Marvel.
There you go.
What else? No, the next thing I'm doing is a sort of, it's not a romantic comedy, but it's a kind of a two-hander comedy, another indie. I make a lot of indies. That's going to be like a couple who goes to the desert and decides we're not going to use screens for like 2 or 3 days. No iPhone, no iPad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the premise. Yeah. So that's the next thing, hopefully coming together in June.
Got it. Like, we'll see it in June, or you're filming
We're
in June?
filming it in June, and
Okay.
you'll see it. Films usually take about a year,
Got
right?
it. These days, yes.
Yeah, it takes about a year for
Yeah.
you to see it. So hopefully next June you'll see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to that. You got to
Thank
come
you.
back. Tell us
I
more
will.
about
I
it.
would love to brag about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come back, keep telling
It's
us
going to be
more and more.
amazing. All I can tell you is it's going to be amazing.
That's great. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for
this
having
was
me.
great. Be sure to catch Under the Eiffel Tower available on demand and Veep on HBO.
Yes.
Yeah. See you guys later.